Hello, I'm your State Senator Paula Aboud from Tucson, and I'm here today to warn you about a tax increase that the majority party is going to pass next year in Arizona that will raise your income taxes. It's called the flat tax, and it almost passed this year, except at the last minute the sponsor held his bill when he discovered some serious consequences that he hadn't calculated. But he's swearing that he's bringing it back in 2012 and that it will pass. In fact, this year it already passed out of the House of Representatives, 40-18, with all the Republicans voting yes. And it passed in the Senate Finance Committee this year. I sit on that committee. And the Department of Revenue testified for us that 88% of Arizonans' taxes, your taxes, will increase if this flat tax bill passes. 9 out of 10 middle-class and working Arizonans will pay more. At the same time, guess what? It'll give, yes, another tax cut to the millionaires of this state. You see, the Department of Revenue told us that anyone making over $100,000 will see a significant tax cut with this flat tax bill. And the way the Republicans are funding the tax cut is by forcing anybody who makes $100,000 or less, meaning the middle class and working families and seniors, will pay for the tax cut for the wealthy. The exact same amount that the rich get cut, you'll have to pay. And that makes it revenue neutral. In other words, no loss of money to the state. But the only loss is to you and the 88% of Arizonans who are going to fund the tax cut for the rich. But the great Republican strategy is to keep you, the citizens, from voting on this tax. You don't get to vote on a tax increase because it's revenue neutral, no cost to the state. You don't even get to have a say in this matter. And that's why I'm talking to you today, to ask for your help. All Arizonans need to be alerted and educated, and then they need to take their message to their legislators and tell the majority party to vote no on the flat tax. Or at the very least, to let you vote on the flat tax. You know, the middle class have always paid their fair share of taxes. Now they're being asked to pay more. Why give wealthy individuals another tax break? And during a recession, when people are struggling? Is this ludicrous? No, not for this legislature. They have repeatedly balanced the state budget on the backs of the middle class. Except this time, you deserve to have a voice in the matter. So, in order to flatten the tax, many tax deductions and exemptions will be eliminated, such as the mortgage interest, dependent children and personal exemptions, donations to churches and to charities are going to be gone. Gerald and Joan emailed me during the debate this year, and they said, our medical insurance, our medical bills and prescriptions are very high. We're in our 70s. And we've also been paying for long-term care health insurance so that the state will not have to pay for nursing home care if it comes to the point where one or both of us will need it. It will hurt us a great deal if we could not deduct our medical expenses, real estate taxes, and our contributions to charity. You know, folks, under the current law, the first $2,500 of federal and Arizona government pensions is not taxable, as is all active duty military pay. This legislation would repeal those exemptions. The premium seniors pay for Medicare would no longer be deductible. Medical expenses, including Medicare premiums, Medicare supplement insurance, long-term care insurance, dental bills, and hearing aid costs reduce their taxable income to zero. That's why seniors are opposed to the flat tax. Military personnel oppose the flat tax because of the unintended consequences to military pay. The potential loss of the mortgage deduction caused the Arizona Association of Realtors to oppose it, and they're a very powerful lobbying group at the Capitol. But the sponsor of the bill is working this summer to change the bill to protect those big lobbying interests. But he's not going to protect you. Oh, we have to take the bitter with the sweet, said Senator Yarborough, chairman of the Senate Finance Committee. But the bill retains most tax credits, including credits for contributions to school tuition organizations, the very business which Senator Yarborough owns and runs. He's exempting his own business while cutting out contributions to other charities. Ask yourself why he's doing that. A report was prepared by Walter Dudley, a certified public accountant, on the flat tax, and it was even more compelling than the Department of Revenue data. He did it to educate the legislature, to help them make a more informed vote. He took the taxes of 6 different families and compared what they would pay now versus what they would pay in the future if the flat tax passed. And he factored in the loss of the itemized deductions and so on. The incomes of those families ranged from $17,784 to $248,000. And what he discovered was every single one of those households saw their taxes increase under the flat tax, ranging from $370 more a year for the family at the low end to $5,270 plus in extra taxes for the family at the top. But the Republican representative Kavanaugh said, "Oh, his report doesn't count because he's an accountant and accountants stand to lose the most from the flat tax." That's not why the accountant did the report. He wanted to provide real live documentation for the legislature. Those are the kinds of dismissive comments the majority party throw around. They don't want the facts, they want the tax cut for the wealthy. That's wrong. Working families are struggling to make mortgage and car payments while trying to put food on the table. Why tax them? And why now? Grandmothers on fixed incomes who don't pay taxes now, they barely have money to live on. With the flat tax, they'll have to pay $200 more in taxes a year. The sponsor of the bill said to me during committee, "Oh, well, $200 isn't so much for those folks to pay." How dare he? He has no idea how hard it is for seniors who have to choose between food or medicine. How dare he? Stand with me today. We have until January to bring out the voices of opposition. I'm in the minority party, and we don't have enough votes to stop the flat tax in Arizona next year without your help. Please stand up. Have your voice be counted. Call your legislator to vote no on the flat tax. At the very least, ask them to put it to a vote of the people. Flat tax means flat broke. Let the people's voices be heard. Look online for the names of your Republican legislators, especially Al Melvin in District 26, the northwest side of Tucson, and Frank Antonori in District 30 on the east side of town. In fact, Antonori ran a flat tax bill of his own this year. Please, don't let the flat tax pass without a vote by the people. I'm counting on you to stand with me against the flat tax and speak up for your rights. I'm Arizona State Senator Paula Aboud, and that's my commentary.